What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the B3 Podcast. I'm your host, Brett. I got Matt GPT and the comeback kid Tanner here again. We got our show partners. What were you going to say?
I got all cleared. I don't have to see a cardiologist for a year.
Did they tell you that you're going to, what's the deal with your heart, though? Like, they just don't think it's going to stack up anymore? It's just done?
Here's what we're going with.
It's fine.
We're going with it. We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Is that just what you're telling yourself?
No, I mean, I've had an echo and a bunch of,
But they don't think that the thing's going to fill in the rest of the way?
No.
Really?
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
No, he thinks I'm on Repatha, and with some of the supplements I'm taking and the Repatha, he thinks we might be able to reverse it a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
That's one thing that I'm glad that I didn't take statins, because statins solidify plaque. It can actually, huh?
That's a big word for you.
Yeah, it was.
Forgot the party. Jeez, I almost forgot to turn those on.
They solidify plaque and can actually increase your calcium score from some of the research I've read.
Oh.
Now, the reason they solidify it is they want to stabilize it so it doesn't break. So that, you know what I mean? But if you're also like a plaque builder, we don't also want it all hard, but
right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's multiple opinions on that.
Are you taking this, Matt?
No, I can't get approved for Repatha, and it's really expensive.
Oh, because you have the fluffy, or you have the problem ones, don't you?
Yes. Have the small, dense, really spiky, really sticky ones.
So what's going to happen, and I'll just say this now, I believe in the next 5 years, there should be a huge change. Huge change on what they do with heart disease. Obviously, they don't have it figured the fuck out. It's still the leading cause of death. About 1 million people die in this country every year from it. But Repatha is a shot, right, that you take every 2 weeks. People don't like shots in general. They don't have any LPA drugs out yet, but they should talk to someone else who said that they think the first one may be out this year. Like, it's in stage 3 trials. Everything looks good. So as soon as they get an LPA drug approved, and if they can get Repatha in a pill form, which they're working on, you'll start moving away from statins. But they're not going. Doctors have to be able to prescribe something. They have to. They can't just tell you,
Yeah, especially more people are now understanding LPA scores and ApoB scores. That's a lot more not common nomenclature now.
Yeah, but it's all because of the drugs they can use now, right? So they're making drugs that address these issues.
Now, what is Repatha in its basic? What does it do?
It's a PCSK9 inhibitor. It helps your liver, helps shed cholesterol, but it doesn't. What it doesn't do is just doesn't go in and just blanket kill cholesterol like statins do.
So my thing with this, could this just be preventative to take?
So possibly, but you would have to probably need some. You would. It's going to be attached to your ApoB score, because.
But they couldn't make this just like a over the counter, everybody take it like a vitamin.
No, they don't make as much money that way.
I understand that, but you know what I mean. Actually, if you open it up to the broad where millions of people could buy it instead of 40 people getting prescribed it, you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, they won't get the price for it unless they run it through insurance. I'll just say
no, I just meant hitting a larger market with a supplement. Is it something you could take as a supplement,
No,
a precursor?
I don't think they'll ever
preventative care.
I don't think they'd ever do that, but I think what they'll do is that they'll start running ApoB tests, right, instead of just your on your lipid panel, which they don't. Once again, if you want an ApoB test, you have to ask for it, right? They'll start running ApoB and LPA tests ahead of time, and they will actually get to a point to where they're preventing heart disease, right? They're addressing the numbers that actually matter, and you'll probably see heart disease go down, and it'll become probably a way more commonly prescribed thing, like a statin, where everyone you know has been prescribed a statin. The bad thing about statins is they're the number one drug that people just don't take. They're non-compliant with.
Well, I don't think a lot of people like some of the side effects with statins.
100%.
Yeah, they don't. But for some of the side effects, the downside of not taking it especially if you're already like, it's one of the better generic, easy to take things. So like, there's really no reason unless you have like severe concerns with some of the side effects. Like you have like the real bad leg pain and like muscle pain and stuff like that. All right, cool. But otherwise,
but a lot of people just report they just don't feel good. And I would say it's because like some of them, like I talked to a guy whose cholesterol is like in like double digits. You know, like it's like his total cholesterol is like 80. like he just like, I just don't feel good. Well, no, you don't feel good because cholesterol's in your brain, right?
Yeah.
It's good for your brain. It's good for your hormones. It converts to vitamin D3 in the sun. So like just to
when your liver doesn't that make like 70% of your cholesterol?
Yeah. I
For your
think
body or something like that, 70 to 80%.
yeah, something happens in the liver with it because that's what like the other ones.
The PCSK9
yeah,
inhibitor.
like they target liver cholesterol, not like systemic cholesterol.
Yeah. So like, and I asked the hospitalist when I was at the hospital, I was like, have they ever done do you have any studies on like super low cholesterol and like the negative effects? She's like, what do you mean? And I explained, the brain, the hormones, D3 conversion, and she knows all this, I'm sure. But she was like, you know what? I don't ever recall having one. No, she wasn't like defensive. She was just like, oh, I'll actually check into that. And I'm not sure if they ever have, so.
Well, and this will lead to another topic, but one more thing. Asking her that, when that guy we were talking to the other morning,
yeah,
which kind of has a lot of knowledge about things.
He does.
I do feel bad for doctors sometimes because people really shit on them, like your internal medicine doctors, just your general practitioners. Like they're kind of set up to be like a jack of all trades. So like sometimes when you're talking to your doctor, if they don't know something, like you can't hate them for not knowing every single thing.
You 100%.
And I think some people get mad, like he didn't know. Well, like some things you ask your doctor are kind of like oddities. Like if you were like, hey, I think my kid has flu symptoms. Does this seem right to you? Okay, they've seen it like a million times, but like, you might ask them something and they might, like, if they don't know everything, man. Like, I mean, obviously you want to have a good doctor, but don't shit on them if they don't know every single question you ask them because they are like, they're not like a knee surgeon and all I work on are knees and you should be able to answer like a knee question. You know what I mean? Like,
I did have one more thing to say, but do you want to finish your...
Well, it's going to lead to a whole another thing.
Your sponsorship stuff?
We'll get to that. It's fine. Whatever.
Okay. Free shaker.
Everywhere today.
So I think, and I've been trying to do this more with just general things because I feel like we take personal attacks on individual people, right? Mm-hmm. Or individual jobs. Like, I don't think doctors and nurses and individual people who work for insurance companies and individual hospitals are trying to coat farmers' pockets that play this game that, I just don't think individual.
It just rolls down the food chain.
I think it's a systemic issue. We have a very large systemic issue that bleeds down. But I would venture to guess that 90+% of doctors do not give a shit if Pfizer makes money or not. Right? I just don't think they care. Now, on the flip side, I do think that a lot of doctors prescribe Lipitor blindly without doing research on statins or alternatives because that's what they've been told works and that we have to target cholesterol. I don't think it's some like negative like conspiracy theory. I just think it's just a system. Now, do I think the system is kind of fucked from the top? Yes. And if the system starts fucked, it stays fucked. But there are a lot of individuals that want within the system that look at other things. I think my doctor does a great job. He does a great job of listening. So I don't know if he agrees with me or disagrees with me, but he doesn't make me feel like an idiot for when I talk. So, and I think that goes a long ways. Like if you come in like, hey, this is what I think, and he walks you through it and lets you make your decision. Even if he disagrees with it, in his head or thinks there's a better way, he might voice his opinion, but as long as he doesn't make you feel dumb, then you guys can have a conversation.
Yes. Yeah, but yeah, like I was saying, don't expect them to know every single thing and don't shit on them if they don't know everything.
Yeah, and it's okay for them to say, I don't know, or to look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
Yeah, and if you come in there with some real good, like I'm sure Tanner goes in there with, I've asked mine, some research information that you have and they might not know, you'll know because they'll write it down.
Yeah.
I've talked to my doctor a couple times, and like Matt knows my doctor. You go to him, but he's a very intelligent guy, and like, but yeah, we'll talk, and you'll have runs. He'll be like, oh, and then he'll like write something down. You know what I mean? So like, at least you know they care, or they at least pretend to care, and they're going to look into it themselves also.
Yeah.
And but yeah, they're trying to learn everything. You know what I mean? And it's hard because they see such a broad spectrum of people.
On the flip side, it's very important for individuals to know what's happening, to be able to ask questions, to be able to read a study or look for stuff. I mean, look, PubMed, whatever. Like, there's plenty of places out there. Like, you're ultimately responsible for yourself.
Yeah.
And
then when talking about research, that's the next part. And we kind of touched on it before when Dr. Jamie was here. But I was talking with a client the other day, and then we started asking chat questions. I think the low testosterone in women
is a huge issue.
Yeah, more and more a huge issue, especially when you look at like the symptoms of low testosterone.
Exact same in women as in.
Yeah, and I think that it's another one too, is where they do the test if they don't do the free. When they do your blood test, they don't check a women's free testosterone.
Typically, when they run a hormone panel on women,
they never check it.
They won't even check testosterone without you asking for it.
No. Because I know she had talked about it and that she had to ask for it. And not that the numbers are crazy. And even her thing was, I don't know if I'd want to take it because I don't want to like lose my hair or end up, whatever. But I was like, you'd have to take an obscene amount.
Well, it's the DHT conversion, right? So, but not everyone responds the same. And usually it is in large amounts. The thing is that like what you were saying, men's range is like 280 to 1200. Which is a stupid range set by insurance companies. But women's range is like 20 to 80.
And like some of the symptoms are not like as crazy as you would think. Like for anybody out there who doesn't know, like it could be low energy, fatigue, decreased muscle mass or strength, increased body fat, especially around the abdomen, thinning hair loss, dry skin, reduced bone density.
These are symptoms of low T.
Low T for women, yeah. Low mood or depression, irritability, difficulty concentrating, like brain fog, reduced motivation, poor sleep, reduced sense of well-being, slow recovery from exercise. Because that was one of her things too. She's like, I don't know why I'm sore for so long. And they can overlap with low estrogen, thyroid issues, stress, or aging also. So testing is usually needed to confirm it, obviously. But you need to know the total and the free.
100%. And once again, if you actually typed in low test symptoms for men, they're almost the exact same.
And a typical, which you might have said, your typical free testosterone range for women is 0.3 to 1.9.
Yep.
What's that? What's the PG per milliliter? Is that what that is? What's the PG? I don't know what that actually. Oh, sorry. Picograms per milliliter.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was right there. I just looked right past that. And some labs will report slightly different ranges, like a 0.1 to 2. Generally below 0.3 is considered low. But they say like,
but if you were 0.4, you're low.
Yeah.
Well, and once again,
time of day can change your measurements. If you're on birth control, your age obviously it's going to decline, or however the lab tests it. And then your total range is 15 to 70.
I said 20 to 80.
So, well, yeah, 15 to 70.
You're so dumb.
But then they also talk about like the sex hormone binding globulin.
Yep.
That's important also. But yeah, I think it's more of a thing out there than.
Well, the sex hormone binding globulin is what helps with your free. So it like binds it up. So you have to be able to address that as well sometimes, because sometimes you can have a high total and a low free because it's bound up with that globulin that's not allowing it to become free.
Yeah, this one said your lab value is free plus total plus the binding globulin.
So one of the things, and so with women and hormone replacement therapy, testosterone, estrogen, estradiol, and progesterone. And once again, I'm not a doctor, but I've talked to enough of them. There's like two different mindsets behind this, especially when women are perimenopause, menopause, like that either one, they can try and keep everything the same, right? So they supplement estradiol, progesterone, and testosterone and try and keep everything like in this box like nothing has changed. I think when women are dealing with menopause and going through perimenopause, their hormones, especially estradiol, are all over the place. It's like chasing your tail, right? Like to try and regulate the estradiol. Depending on whether you delivered an egg, that cycle or not, menopause is the running out of eggs. So when we get towards the end, we don't always release an egg. If you don't release an egg, you don't have the same hormone response as if you did release an egg. So your hormones get all out of whack. So testing women's hormones is very, very hard to begin with because you don't know. A lot of women in their 40s don't know when their cycle is. Either A, they had a partial hysterectomy, they had an ablation. Do you know what that, where they like burn the inside of the, they're on some kind of birth control where they don't have a cycle. A lot of women in their 40s don't know when their cycle is. Like they don't know. They're still having it, but they may just not have the period. So they don't know when it is. So going in and getting your hormones tested, not knowing which phase of your cycle you're in can really throw your numbers off. So I get a lot of people say, well, they said it was normal. I said, well, which phase are in? They say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, then how do they know you're normal? How do they know it's normal if they don't know what phase you're in?
Well, that was interesting. Erin just did the Function Health, went to go get her blood drawn for them. And they specifically said, I can't remember if it was like, you're supposed to go in either right when you start your cycle or right after your cycle. But they want you to do whatever one it is, go in, do your labs that month. And then the next month, go in and do them again at the same time so they can try to like.
That's super smart.
Get like a balance of like.
And it still can not, like women's hormones are hard, right? Women's hormones are hard. And I was talking with someone else, like, I think men's hormones and women's hormones are very similar end point, right? The problem is that women, everything that happens with women hormones, whether it's their cycle, whether it is pregnancy, whether it is perimenopause, it seems to happen like a fucking snap. Like it just happens quickly.
Yeah. Like
symptoms start happening quickly. Men are like that, like a frog in a boiling pot. Like by the time men realize that they don't feel good, it's been like 10 years. You know, it's been 12 years of just like this steadily testosterone decrease and this steady estradiol increase, and they just like wake up one day is like, I feel like shit.
Bad.
Yeah, but it's been this like slow burn for 10 years that they just like slowly got used to.
Yeah.
So I think both men and women end up in the same spot. It's just like women's symptoms happen very, very quick, and they seem to be very, very aggressive.
The women or the symptoms?
Both.
Here's what old chat said for the best time as far as testing it.
Yeah.
Is if you can go morning between like 7 and 10.
Yeah.
I assume this is based on you're a regular person, like not night shift or something.
Yeah.
And then menstrual cycle timing, if not on birth control, is mid-cycle, around 7 to 10 days of your cycle, is that hormones are more stable, avoids the hormonal swings.
Yeah.
So, and then back on the sex binding one, if you're like we didn't say, you wanted that to be low, the globulin to be low, because that wraps up your free.
Yeah.
I don't think we actually said if we wanted it high or low, but you want that to be low.
Yeah.
The sex binding globulin.
Yeah.
Right, but you don't want it
sex
to be
hormone
zero.
globulin.
No, you don't
like,
want to zero, but it's just like, because if you have a bunch of free, but that's really high too, like Tanner said, that's all just like locked up and you can't, it's not using the free.
Yeah.
So you want that to be low.
So, there is this mindset by some like doctors that they're going to try and keep everything normal, right? They're going to try and like make it to like a woman's like nothing's changing, everything's fine, and that to me it's like chasing your tail. That's very hard to do. So the testosterone supplementation and what a lot of the other way that they treat women's hormones, the other like mindset is that if we just increase testosterone, right, and maybe in this natural range of 15 to 70 or 20 to 80 or whatever
in there, yeah.
Or if they take it slightly past normal, I view all those numbers as, especially with hormones, like I don't really give a fuck what the number is. How do you feel? Right? How do you feel?
Yep.
And then when you feel good, use your numbers as a marker for when you felt good. So,
Yeah.
so this is when I felt good. These are my numbers. So if I start not feeling good, let's get them tested and see if they're still here or if they changed. And then you know what I mean? Like those are just like a marker that says, check, I feel good here.
Yep.
Right. That's the way I view it. Like they're there, but whatever. And most numbers, I hate these ranges because it's like, I would view like the bottom number of the range, right? Like survival, like, oh, your whatever's 280 to 1200. That's male testosterone. Okay.
You're at 290. You're great.
Yeah. No, you're surviving, right? Like there's a difference between survival and optimal. And I think with all these numbers, there's an optimal range and there's a survival range. And the ranges, in my opinion, are just there for insurance companies to either say I'm paying or I'm not paying for your treatment. That's the only reason they have ranges. Most of these ranges are not medical ranges.
And like I said, somewhat how you feel. Also, like with guys, a guy could have a testosterone of 400 and a guy could have a testosterone level of 1,000. And they could both feel equally the same. Mm-hmm. Could feel good. Like I know a guy here that's kind of small and wiry, and I think his test is like in the high, like between 8 and 1,000. And he looks like he doesn't put muscle on very easily.
Well, that's part of it. I mean,
You know what I mean? I think my test and your test levels could be completely different, but have the same results.
yeah,
So per person can be different. So it's definitely like a feel to it also.
100% a feel.
Yeah.
I would say that most men feel the best between 600 and 1,000. What?
I mean, that's the upper end, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't go to 1,200.
I know.
Yeah, but I would say
I left 200 on the table.
yeah, I wasn't maxing it out. I just on a flip side, I do think that a lot of men try and push that number high when they're doing TRT or extra stuff. And I do feel like there's this middle range, like 1,500, 1,800, that you feel like shit.
Yeah.
Like you feel like shit. You're not getting extra benefits and you just get more side effects. Right. And then like the people who are going to be super aggressive are going to take it well past the 1,800 into the multiple thousands, right?
Well, there's probably other things they're doing too.
Well, yeah, 100%. This is not fucking TRT at that point in time. It's a cycle.
Capital TRT.
Yeah. But when they push past that, then I still think they have a lot of side effects, but they get the other benefits of extreme muscle growth and there's some extreme stuff. Right, well, that's what they're looking for. Maybe you're pro something, and you're looking for this gigantic size. You're going to push past that. But for your normal person, just increasing it, right, to get a higher number because you think a higher number is better. I feel like there's this middle zone of just shit. Like you grabbed 4 more side effects or increased the severity of them, and you got no more benefits, and you don't feel great.
Yeah. I 100% agree with like anyone who is looking at TRT. Like, I would encourage them to not know what their number is until they have a couple tests where they feel good. Like you hit a level, you feel good. All right, cool. Your doctor can test. Keep that number. Come back a month or 2 later. Test again. Like, do I still feel good? Yeah. All right, cool. And then, like you said, use that number as a barometer. But because there were. Like when I first started TRT and I went to like which one was it? Mentality, I think. I went there. And like the cool thing and that's where I discovered through them is like, cause at first I started asking them, hey, what's my number? And they're like, we'll talk about it once you start feeling good. And I was like, fuck that. I want like 10,000. Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
And stuff. And then we just didn't. And then I was like, oh, I feel great. Yeah, this feels good. And we did that. And I was at like 800-900.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this feels great.
So now how much does that change over the years then? Your dose versus your level?
My dose has gone up a little bit. So I was at that point in time, I was probably doing 225 a week.
Yeah.
But like unfortunately, I've been on TRT since I was like 23 because I went in to get tested when I was like really young because I felt like shit. All the stereotypical symptoms, my testosterone was trash, but my doctor never asked like, hey, do you drink 5 days a week and sleep like maybe 3 hours a night and eat twice over the weekend? Like that question never came up. He's like, oh, you got low TRT, low test. Cool, let's start you on some stuff. And then like when you're at my test, I want to say my test levels were like 87. I know I was under 100. And so to go from 87 to just into the normal range of like 300, I was like, I fucking feel like Superman. This is fucking great and stuff. And so then it was like a long journey, like going up. But like, had we had that conversation about like, hey, maybe stop treating your body like shit and you might feel a little bit better and some of the stuff will recover. Because like, I don't think if I could go back in time, I would have changed all that stuff and I would not have started TRT. Because like, it's just like I've gone off TRT and my body makes no testosterone.
Well, I was just going to say, after 6 to 12 months, your body quits making natural testosterone. So to your point, I think what you were getting at is that has your dose had to change. It usually will somewhere around that year mark, because you're no longer, your balls are not making testosterone anymore. So you may have to bump it up to get that number, which is once again why you find the number you feel good at. So if it dips below it, you know that you just increase a little bit. Also, it is a lifelong decision. So when you do go on TRT, you're on it for life. Like, well, unless you just want to feel like shit again, because you're not going to produce. And to get your balls working again is going to be so much, like so much other drugs
and stuff.
Yeah. But then like long-term HCG use can increase your prolactin level. Like there's a lot of things that go like that you can do to counteract some things, but they all come with another set of side effects.
Yeah. There's always trade-offs.
Yeah.
Well, and on the side effects thing, like we were talking with Beck on the women's one, I think that some people worry about the side effects, but I don't. Like when I was talking to my client, I was like, you would have to take an aggressive.
Not necessarily. Sometimes long-term use is going to have some side effects. And I think women should be told about some of these side effects. And I think men should be told about these side effects. I think men, if you're going in there at 23 and you're drinking, by the way, if you drink 6 drinks, you're going to lower your testosterone production by up to 40% over 48 hours. Well, if you're drinking 5 days a week, you never have good testosterone production. You're always at this 40% or more suppression. Right? If you're not sleeping, you're going to be suppressed. If you're not eating, it's going to be suppressed. Like there's a lot of things to do it. So we should have a conversation with men when you go in there that this is lifetime. And by the way, after a year, this is male birth control. Like you're not producing sperm. Like your sperm count is going to be super freaking low. Have these discussions. Women, have these discussions. Yes, you're probably going to have to pluck your chin. Okay? Yes, you could have a little bit like watch your hair thinning. Doesn't happen all the time. It does usually have to be, but long-term use can have some of these things. There are other things that happen that we talked about with Dr. Jamie about it. Have this discussion, right? And understand that a lot of women have something. The hair thinning one will freak women out, and 100%, I agree. You know what I mean? But once, like to your point, that's I think aggressive. Like that's aggressive use. Like that doesn't happen. But there are some side effects. Acne. Right? Like acne can be one. There's a lot of things that come up. Like I said, plucking your chin hair. There's other things that happen that I think women should be told. But a lot of women have these side effects and then choose to feel better. Like, okay, fine. I have to pluck my fucking chin. I can get laser hair removal. Like, but I feel so much better. Or I can feel like shit. You know what I mean? And hate my life. Like these are the options.
Yeah.
So but I just think, just freaking talk about it. But no one ever, like doctors very seldomly talk about side effects. Like very seldomly does a doctor talk about a side effect of a med. They just talk about the benefits, but they don't talk about the side effects. And
to have that conversation.
And it's okay. There are just certain side effects.
There's trade-offs. There's always trade-offs.
Like if there was a pill that would make me 6'8", like I would risk a lot of side effects. Like I would risk a lot of side effects to be 6'8".
You really want to be 6'8", huh?
Fuck yeah. 6'8", like 400, like just walk around just bopping people on the head for no reason. That'd be fucking great. Like your world is a whack.
Your heart can't manage what you got.
That's fine. The world is a whack-a-mole.
Just give him 2 hearts.
Yeah.
Tanner's biggest dream to be 6'8".
Yeah, and 400.
Yeah.
Well, then his head would finally fit his body.
Exactly. That's the whole reason.
I've had this 400-pound head the whole time, and I didn't even know it.
I feel so normal now.
But I think, that the testosterone levels, I think, or low test levels in women is more prevalent than I think a lot of people think.
Well, I think part of it is that we're living longer. And I remember
Didn't the average age go down though?
it did recently. So I've dug into your average
That's
lifespan.
shocker.
I've dug into your average lifespan, like you actually have to like dig into numbers a few times, right? Because there was a very like in the early like late 1900s or late 1800s, early 1900s. There's a lot of infant mortality, right? Mm-hmm. So when there's a lot of infant mortality, it brings that age down drastically. So there is a definite increase of lifespan. I mean, we can say that, but is it the 30 years we've been told? Truly, like, is it like more like, okay, if you didn't die as a baby, then what was the average lifespan? Yeah. Like, we should take infant mortality out for how long the person's living. I don't know. Are you typing that in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I also think we're living more life as far as people want to do more, especially like with our generation. Like we were a completely different generation from our parents. I remember like my dad's 40th birthday party, like they had like a big party and stuff, and it's like everyone was like all my dad's friends just had beer guts. Like they were all, you know what I mean? Like no one very, I don't know if any of them went to the gym, you know, back then, like in the like early 90s, like
well, we've talked about that before, where is it environment or is it genetics? Over the years, you know what I mean? Like, well, you know, like your grandpa died at 60, you know, and it's like, well, he did this, you know, generationally, like he was just a farmer, and then like his kids were farmers. Well, like now their kids are not farmers and they work out all the time and they're more health conscious. So is it genetics for those other two generations, or was it just environment? Like we live the exact same lifestyle because that's what we did, you know?
Well, and I mean, honest, like, I mean, so many things have changed. So when they talk about like medical advancements, I don't think medical advancements has helped with the age, like with as much of like us, our lifespans increasing as, well, I know for a fact it hasn't, as clean water, right? As in food supply, as in having a freaking car and being able to have transportation, as in housing, as in electricity. You know, like these things, heat, air conditioning, these things have very much increased the quality and length of life. Antibiotics are the only medicine that really solves a problem. It's the only prescription that actually cures something.
But I think there's so many good non-prescription things that have helped with life, like just the supplementation of vitamins, minerals, you know, protein, you know, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
I wonder if there's stats around like clean or all that stuff, moving that age from, I don't know, it's like 30 to 40 or 30 to 45. And then once you get over a certain age, then you start looking at pharmaceuticals and medicine and stuff as like helping people live past that. Right? Because if you,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, because there's, once you hit some certain age, like most people are on something to like help their body keep chugging along. Right. And so
is that
something?
So I think what Brett was saying about environment, I think when you get to a certain age, right, and we're all on something, I'm wondering how much of that is environment, how much of that is diet, how much of that is the shit we're putting in our bodies, that we live to a certain point and it's accumulation of environment. You know,
I mean, like a house full of junkies probably isn't going to live as long as a house full of healthy gym goers.
Right. So there is an environment there. But okay, disease, for example, measles. The measles vaccine, I think, came in the 1950s. So you can probably fact check me on that, 50s or 60s. But basically, up until that point, the mortality rate of measles had gone down 98% or more before the vaccine was introduced. And it went down because of antibiotics, some medical treatment. Yes. It also went down because of clean water, more sanitation, the use of like toilets, having a toilet instead of freaking shared outhouses in communities. Like there's a lot of things that happen, food supply, water supply. There's a lot of things that happen in that point to make it us healthier so we could survive diseases, right? If you're healthy and you have you have enough food and you have water and you have shelter and you like you're not having to beat yourself up all the time, you're going to be able to fight off diseases better. So there is this like marriage between medical advancements, things like that, and like just life advancements to where we're just like a lot more sanitary.
What'd your age thing say, Matt?
If you looked at the age was, oops, too far. So just the general stuff it looked at, God damn it, was, yeah. So if you just look at all mortality, so from like birth up, it says 76 to 78. But if you only look at those that are age 20 and up, so you exclude everyone under the age of 20, that goes up to 77 to 80.
Yeah.
So 80-ish. 75 is probably the average.
Yeah, so 76 to 78 is if you include everybody. So that includes all the infant mortality.
So 78.
Yeah,
I would
so you
say.
can use 78 for that. But then it's also funny if you look, and I didn't fact check this, so there's probably something to it because it seems too linear. If you exclude everyone under the age 30 and just look at that up, your age goes up even more. It goes up 78 to 81. The same thing for age 40 and age 50.
So if you make it past those ages, you're going to make it that far?
Well, I would guess is that when you're younger, you do dumber shit, right? You also have dumber jobs. Like there's a lot of stuff you do when you're younger, right? So that's the real question: is that if you got to 30 in the 1900s or 1900, and you got to 30 in 2026, what is your life expectancy at that point in time, right? Did those change? But yeah, I mean, our environments help out a ton. Actually, I didn't realize this. Do you know how polio spread? Do you know where it comes from?
Mm-mm.
It's spread through poop. It's an intestinal.
That's shitty.
Yeah. It's intestinal. So once again, sanitation is going to take care of a lot of that. And feel free to fact check me on this, but over 90%, and I think it's upwards of 95 to 99% of polio is asymptomatic. You don't even know you have it.
So around 1900, if you made it to age 20, so again, excluding everyone under 20, life span was 60 to 65. Around 2000, same criteria, 75 to 80.
Okay. So there's a significant statistical 10 to 15 year gap there. And some of those things, I'm sure, like for me, if what would have happened to me happened in the 1900s, I'm dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But a lot of, the more I've talked to people, the more I've found out how many people die at my age from heart attacks. There's a lot of them. A lot of people have, their dad died, their uncle died. There are a lot of people who have died from heart attacks. And so medical interventions have definitely helped. I just don't think pharmaceutical interventions have helped as much as the pharmaceutical companies want to give them credit for. I think medical interventions have helped, right?
Yeah.
Medical interventions have helped quality of life, like joint replacements, surgeries, being able to fix, like in 1900, you tear your pec, you think you're fixing it? Like you just have a torn pec until it fucking.
Well, we're basically like the 1900s with insurance. So if you don't have good insurance, you don't get your pec fixed anyway.
Yeah.
True.
It's basically the 1900s over here.
Yeah.
But
like, let's just say you tear an ACL.
Yeah. No,
Right,
you're just
and
gonna,
like
they'll just
eight-
cut your leg off.
Well, I don't even know if you need an ACL, honestly. Like you can function pretty well without one.
I don't know, man. It's some rough terrain to walk around on.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like it would suck, but
Matt walked on flat land and went down.
Yeah, that's fine.
But people walk around with torn ACLs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people who
So
were
scar in a little bit.
were in the process of like guy I know that I went to CrossFit with, like MCL, PCL, and ACL all gone, and he's freaking before his surgery he's squat cleaning, like, and then he had to have
But
surgery
that's
and then
because
he
he
could
did CrossFit.
Yeah.
They're basically immortal if you ask them.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask them; they'll tell you.
Yeah,
Superhero.
them and Hulk Hogan, immortal. All right,
20,000 people in the U.S. every year between 40 and 49 die from heart-related issues.
20,000. It's a lot.
Only 19,999 left after this guy.
Well, he didn't die.
I didn't die.
Well, he beat the odds. Sorry. All right, yeah, that's all I had. Just kind of the women's testosterone levels.
If you're women, if you're listening, or if you have a wife or someone else in your when they get their hormones checked, they need to ask for testosterone. They will not check it.
All of it.
All of it.
Free, not just total.
And the study that a lot of doctors use to say that HRT is not healthy is complete bullshit. The study was not bullshit. The interpretation of data was complete bullshit. They have gone back on it, but once again, in medical, it is like turning the fucking Titanic to change their opinions. It does not happen quickly. So the study's 25 years old. It's been bullshit for 25 years, and they just now are talking about how it's bullshit. So, but once again, the study was fine. The interpretation of data was completely terrible. So if you have a doctor who doesn't believe in hormone therapy, and it would be a belief system, it's religion at that point in time, then find someone who does. And I'm not saying you have to do it. You get to choose, but get all the information, positive and negative, and talk to your friends, especially if you're a woman in their 40s or 50s. All your friends are going through the same shit, and you'd probably be surprised on how many of them are on some kind of HRT and how many aren't. A lot of women don't want to talk about it. They feel like less of a woman, or it's not their business. The same way that TRT back 10 years ago, no guy would say they're on TRT because they're like, oh, you're on steroids.
Yeah, you're like less of a man, and you're cheating and stuff. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to stay alive.
Yeah, but now no one gives a fuck, and actually it's hilarious because people that aren't on TRT just like he's like, I'm just on TRT. No, they're like running a juice cycle. They're like running a no, I'm just on TRT. Oh yeah, what's that TRT look like?
Yeah, I'm on TRT plus.
Yeah. TRT plus.
Yeah, so find a doctor. Like I said, we had Dr. Jamie on here, and she does a lot with the hormone stuff, so she's one you could probably at least reach out to.
At least have the conversation.
Yeah, I'm sure there's other, but we just know her on here that does a lot with it, and I think her knowledge on it's pretty decent. So,
and when you're looking for a clinic, if you're looking for a hormone clinic, like do some research on it, read some reviews, see what people see, because not all of them are the same.
Yeah.
In the men's, same way. There's some fucking weirdos out there.
Dude.
Right? Yeah.
You got to be careful. The first one I went to was, I think...
like, you don't want one where they just walk in and they just give you a fucking vial. And you're like, later.
I went to New Mail, and... Because I was like, I saw the ads, and I just felt... I wanted to... Because my doc wasn't like... They're like, oh, you're at... you're almost to 500, so that's good. And I was like, well, I still feel bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I still feel bad. So I was going to go check out one of those dude clinics, and I knew New Mail, and I went there, talked to them, and like their first thing was like, oh yeah, no, we'll give you this, like do this stuff, blah blah blah, and like we'll start you off around 1,600 and kind of see how you feel. And I was like, at first I was like, fuck yeah, bro, and then I was like, wait a minute, 1,600, that's super high.
Yeah.
And like that was like their starting range where they're like, yeah, we'll put you up there and then see how you feel. And I was like, that's, kind of yes, but kind of no.
Yeah.
And then I went and looked at some other places, and I'm glad. Like, I like the way that Mentality did it. Like, it was expensive to go through those clinics, but at least I like the way that they did it, where they're like, no, we're just going to talk and see how you feel. And then once you find a spot that you're good with, like, then we can talk about numbers so we understand. But
I am going to say one thing. If you're a guy on TRT and you're going through, usually this happens on a primary care, like your PCP, and you're taking your shot every 2 weeks, you're doing...
Oh, yeah.
It's normal. That's a normal
They did
prescription.
it every 3 weeks when I started.
That is complete bullshit. All you have to do is do yourself a little favor and say, that's the half-life of Testosterone.
Yep.
Starts with a C, CYP. Testosterone. And it's 7 to 8 days.
Yeah.
So if you go 14, it's out of your fucking system.
Oh.
And you're going to be on a fucking roller coaster.
No, you feel fucking great that first week, though.
Yeah, you feel great for 5 days.
Yeah.
Then you feel like shit for like the next 9.
You feel super great for 5, and then you feel kind of like for a few, and then like your 3 or 4 days before you go back again are fucking terrible.
Yeah, and you're just on this roll. Like it's very simple.
Twice a week.
Very
Twice a
simple.
week is
And twice a week is what I recommend. Like take your dose, whatever your dose is. If you're 200, then 100, right? Like split it Monday, Thursday. Like then you're always flat. You're just always even. But if you're on a test dose of every 2 weeks, like I said, do yourself a favor, type that in, and then ask your doctor what a fucking half-life is and why they're giving you a shot every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because not only, once again, it's going to slow your natural test production. Okay. And if you've been doing this protocol for a year, you're going to be really low on natural test production, if not zero. And you're only getting testosterone every 2 weeks. And
right. And I think the other thing is like, so they're calculated out. So if you need 200 a week and they look at you and you're coming every 2 weeks, like they're probably going to give you something in like the 300, 350, maybe 400. So like the negative side effects you get from doing 200 every week versus doing 400, like your body gets hit with that 400 and your body's like, oh fuck, I got to aromatize this shit. I need to do all this other stuff. We got to process this stuff. Cause it's like way out of your system, like normal range. And so you're more likely to have negative side effect on a huge bolus than if like you spread it out and do like a little bit here, a little bit there, and you're dosing it out.
All right. A lot of information here.
Do juice.
And once again, we're not doctors, so ask your doctor.
Yeah.
Or I guess Dr. Chat GPT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But take care of yourself. Get your blood work done. Know where you're at. You guys got anything else?
Get a free shaker.
Yeah. Go out to Wheelie Nutrition. Get a free shaker.
I went to Scooters.
Did not get a free shaker.
Nope.
Well, you get that cup, I guess.
Yeah, they charged me for the drink. Yeah, I got the cup for free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little $7 coffee there. How much was that?
$7.15.
Yeah.
Like that.
I do not know how people do that like every day.
Because they want to.
It's fine. Yeah. I mean, knock yourself out. It's just,
Yeah, I couldn't every day. I would be.
no, I'm like too cheap for that.
We know.
Which is funny because like
you're grinding your own beans. We get it.
like trying to justify doing this every day, I'd be like, but drinking like 2 Monsters or 2 Reigns or something every day for like $5, I'm like, it's fine. I can do that.
You know how I justify it? Because I want to. Or if you're going to be like, I don't smoke like a pack of cigarettes every day.
Right. It's not meth.
See?
Yeah.
Just whenever you're not sure, just remember it's not meth.
Yeah. It's cheaper than cocaine.
Words to live by, kids.
Right.
Words to live by.
Yeah, tell your parents.
All right. Like, subscribe, share, follow. We'll see you next time.